Lyman Beecher graduated from Yale in 1797 with a degree in theology and became a Presbyterian minister. Around 1825, Beecher urged Americans to join temperance unions, and they responded at both local and national levels. A few years later, the Temperance Union was formed. He began preaching Calvinism, stressing the evils of temperance and slavery. He also lectured against the use of alcohol. Beecher became famous for his 6 sermons on temperance, which expressed that intemperance is the sin of our land, and if anything shall defeat the hopes of the world, which hang upon our experiment of civil liberty, it is that river of fire. These sermons reached a broad audience, and sobriety became an important indicator of redemption. Beecher worked to educate ministers to save people in the West from their sinful ways. His daughter, Harriet Beecher, continued fighting against alcohol and influenced millions of Americans with her novel, Uncle Tom's Cabin. One person that was also part of the temperance and slavery abolishing movement was William Lloyd Garrison. He became the editor of the National Philanthropist, a newspaper dedicated to temperance. He focused on the temperance movement and women's suffrage after the abolition of slavery. Garrison was the voice of abolition during his time and was heard through his publication, The Liberator. The Maine liquor law was passed in 1851 and was at the beginning of the temperance movement. The law was crafted by Neal Dow and was meant to prohibit the sales of alcohol. Frances E. Willard graduated from the Northwest Female College and later became the president of the Evanston College for Ladies and the Dean of Women at Northwest University. She left her promising career to become a mover and shaker in the temperance movement, which aimed to get rid of alcohol consumption in the country. Willard also fought for women's suffrage, aiming for a better lifestyle for women. She became the corresponding secretary of the Chicago Women's Christian Temperance Union in 1874 and president in 1891. Willard helped found the Prohibition Party and also wrote Women in Temperance in 1883. She emphasized that the organization should not only work on temperance but also on women's suffrage. She worked to abolish laws regarding women, such as prostitution, which were also affected directly by temperance. Willard wanted women to participate in the public sphere, not just at home, and believed that women should be authorized as ministers, and she succeeded in her mission to make it happen. Willard died of influenza while visiting New York City when she was 59 years old. She changed the way women were viewed in society by creating the largest women's organization in the U.S. in her time with a membership of 245,000.
As we all know, alcohol causes destruction not only in the life of the user, but also in the lives of those around the user. Here, we will examine a few scenarios in which alcohol causes destruction in the lives of those in its path. Please, be warned, these images are graphic, and if there are any children in the area, please have them leave for a short amount of time.
I am alcohol. You did not!
My son was killed by an alcohol. Alcohol hurt me. I am an alcohol! I want to go home.
Oh my god.
Have you been drinking tonight?
I don't think so, I swear.
I'm gonna have you walk a straight line all the way to that chair down.
Do you know what this thing is?
Are you harassing? Are you obstructing justice? Just walk. Yes, you clearly had more than just a few tonight. I can clearly see you're going to drink for a long, long time. Your wife's gonna call. We're gonna have to be able to answer. Clearly, the harm of alcohol outweighed its benefits. The temperance movement was a highly successful movement constructed in order to help reduce the harm caused by alcohol. The success of this movement can be attributed to the many advocates and power figures who fully invested themselves into making sure that the reforms needed were made. Thank you, and good night.
Carrie A. Nation was known for her attacks on liquor establishments, mostly in Kansas. Her husband was a heavy drinker, which contributed to her motive to fight against alcohol. Nation claimed that she received a message from God, which was to vandalize a bar, and she did so while exclaiming, "Man, I have come to save you from a junkyard's fate." She also contributed to the YCTU, Kansas residents voted against prohibition, but saloon keepers ignored them. She got sent to jail various times, but she was well known for her reckless conduct. Timothy Shea Arthur, one of the most anti-alcohol writers, was the author of 10 Nights in a Barroom. The story is told by a non-frequent tavern visitor, which visits the bar a couple of times, witnessing the downfall of people and the town because of alcohol. His famous novel helped the American audience see alcohol as a bad thing. Carrie Nation was also included in Arthur's novel. John Go was credited with inspiring 200,000 people to sign the pledge to stop drinking. His success was due in large measure to two factors. First, he was a brilliant performer who impersonated different people and displayed a wide range of emotions in his public addresses. Second, he was recovering, or as he and his contemporaries would say, a reformed alcoholic, and he drew upon his own experiences battling demon run to provide insight and inspiration to others.
One of the effects of the temperance movement was prohibition. Also known as the 18th Amendment, prohibition was the supporters of the temperance movement's dreams come true. Passed in 1918 by Congress, it prohibited the manufacture, transportation, and sale of alcoholic beverages. States ratified the amendment the next year. Though prohibition was enacted years after the temperance movement began, the two events are clearly connected and are highly important events in American history.
You're going to say the main liquor law was one of the first laws passed in the United States, and that led towards temperance. And then you're going to say, yeah, I'm not going to remember that. And then just say, oh my god, what am I? Here, hold this, please.